many videos. Um, so let me just talk to you of why I'm doing this and maybe a little bit of background so that you guys know what's happening. Um, so my name is Malai. I'm a computer science master student. I just finished my semester one here in Boston University. Um, and I have 1 month of winter break. So a lot of people have been talking to me about Rust in the past 2 or 3 months, and I was thinking, why not kind of pick it up? I have 1 month uh, to test it out, and as you all know, crypto is a big thing right now, and Solana as well is really booming. Crypto is a volatile market in my opinion. It goes up and it goes down very readily, very regularly, in fact. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of do a live streaming of me, learning Rust, so that maybe you guys get inspired as well, and we will go along this journey together, the ups and downs, just like the crypto market. And you'll see what will happen because I mean the end goal is so that at the end of the month, um, not December, but the end of my winter break, I should be able to get be able to build Solana projects by myself on my own, without the help of anyone. That is the end goal. That is the end goal here, and I hope to get there. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I hope that my programming background would allow me to make things slightly easier. But nonetheless, I've never touched Rust, and I heard from my brother that it's quite tough. He's doing his own Solana project. So that's why I really got inspired, and I really got to know the nitty-gritty stuff. Um, so yeah, join me in this journey. I'm gonna document it. Every I'm gonna learn Solana every. I'm sorry. I'm gonna learn Rust for 2 to 3 hours from today onwards. For the next 30 days. So if you like that, join me in this journey. You guys can just ask me any questions along the way. Um, I'll be more than willing to help you guys while I learn. We on this journey together. Right. Awesome. So I'm gonna. So this is the Oh, sorry about that. Let me turn that off. Yeah, 2 hours. So this is the resource that I got linked up by my brother. This is the Rust programming book. Let me just give you guys where I got it. So this is the Rust website, and I clicked on read the book. And this is the book that we are going to use throughout this journey. So I just clicked read the book, and let's go. Let's get started. It's awesome times. Okay, the Rust programming language. This version of the text assumes that you're using Rust 1.55 or later. Cargo TML of all projects to use Rust 2018 edition idioms. See the installation section of chapter 1 to install or update Rust. Yeah, we gotta do that because I've never touched Rust before on my laptop. See Appendix E for information on additions. The 2018 edition of the Rust language includes a number of improvements that made Rust more ergonomic and easier to learn. That's great for us. This iteration of the book contains a number of changes to reflect those improvements. Managing growth, creates and modules has been mostly rewritten. The module system and the way paths work in 2018 edition were made more consistent. Chapter 10 has sections titled traits as parameters and returning types that implement traits that explains the new IMPL trait syntax. Chapter 11 has a new section titled Using Results. Result TE in test that shows how to write tests that use the question mark operator, and the advanced lifetime section in chapter 19 was removed because compiler improvements made the construct in the section even rarer. The previous appendix D and didn't include procedural macros was moved to the macro section in chapter 19. Keywords also explains the new raw identifiers feature that enables code reading in the 2015 edition 2018 to interoperate. Appendix D is now titled Useful Development Tools. Yeah, I think. Okay. Yeah, you can also get this book as a paperback or ebook book format, but whatever is there is in this documentation. So, I mean, whatever you guys want to do, you do you, you know? Yeah, so just talking about the forward, empowerment, no matter what kind of code you're writing now, Rust empowers you to reach further to program with confidence. System level work that deals with low-level deals of memory management, data representation concurrency, arcanes, so yes, learning to avoid infamous pitfalls, and even those who practice it do with caution, let their code be open to exploits, crashes, or corruption. Rust breaks down these barriers by eliminating the old pitfalls and providing a friendly, polished set of tools to help you along the way. Programmers who need to dip down into lower level control can do so with Rust without taking on a customary risk of crashes or security holes and without having to learn the fine points of a fickle toolchain. Better yet, the language is designed to guide you naturally towards reliable code and efficient in terms of speed and memory usage. So it's fast, and I think it doesn't use a lot of memory. It saves up in the memory usage, but not. I mean, memory is not an issue these days. Speed is of higher importance. I mean, memory is super cheap these days, so but speed is very important. Programmers who are already working with low-level code can use Rust to raise their ambitions. For example, introducing parallelism. It's a mouthful of words. In Rust, it's a relatively low-risk operation. The compiler will catch the classical mistakes for you. You can tackle more aggressive optimizations in your code with confidence that you won't accidentally introduce crashes or vulnerabilities. But Rust isn't limited to low-level system programming. It's expressive and ergonomic enough to make CLI apps, web servers, and many other kinds of code quite pleasant to write. We are basically learning Rust so that we can write Solana apps. And you'll find simple examples of both later in the book. Working with Rust allows you to build skills that transfer from one domain to another. You can learn Rust by writing a web app, and apply those same skills to target your Raspberry Pi. Okay, that's cool. This book fully embraces the potential of Rust to empower its users. It's friendly and approachable text intended to help you level up, not just for your knowledge of Rust, but also your reach and confidence as a programmer in general. That's great. So dive in, get ready to learn, and welcome to the Rust community. And those are the two authors, Nicholas Matsakis and Aaron Turon. Cool, cool. Okay. So introduction. I think this is where they will tell you like how do you download the compiler and stuff like that. Programming language helps you write faster, more reliable software. High-level ergonomics and low-level control are often at odds in programming language design. Rust challenges that conflict through balancing powerful technical capacity and a great developer experience. Rust gives you the option to control low-level details such as memory usage without the hassle friction associated with such control. So I guess it gives you a lot of control without you managing too many things. I guess. Who's Rust for? Rust is ideal for many people for a variety of reasons. Let's look at a few examples of the most important groups. I think they talk about who is it relevant to. So developers, productive tool for collaborating among large teams. of developers with varying levels of systems programming knowledge. Low-level code is prone to a variety of subtle bugs, which is most other languages can be caught only through extensive testing and careful code review by experienced developers. In Rust, the compiler plays a gatekeeper role by refusing to compile code with these elusive bugs. So I think if it's a bug, then your code won't compile. So you know that there's some error with your code. So that is one of a kind of a threshold that makes Rust good. I guess that's what I'm understanding of it so far. By working alongside the compiler, the team can spend their time focusing on the program's logic rather than chasing down bugs. So I think it kind of streamlines whether a project, whether the code works or not, uh, by kind of leveraging the use case of the compiler. Rust also brings contemporary developer tools to the systems programming world. Cargo, the included dependency manager and build tool, makes adding, compiling, and managing dependencies painless and consistent across the Rust ecosystem. And Rust FMT ensures a consistent coding style across developers. I think that's the maybe um, is it the writing style and stuff like that? Maybe the Rust language server powers integrated development environment, the IDE integration for code completion and inline error messages. Okay, by using these and other tools in Rust ecosystem, developers can be productive while writing systems level code. Students, hey, that's us. Rust is for students and those who are interested in learning about systems concepts. Using Rust, many people have learned about topics like operating systems development. The community is welcoming and happy to answer student questions. I guess it's an open community that's great for us. So if you have any questions, you can shoot at them, no problems. Through efforts such as this book, the Rust team wants to make system concepts more accessible to more people, especially those who especially those new to programming. Yep. Okay, companies on us, open source developers, people who value speed and stability. How to use this book, that's important to us. This book assumes that you're reading it in sequence from front to back. Ideally, that's what we want to do in the next 30 days. The other chapters build on concepts in earlier chapters, and earlier chapters might not delve into details on a topic. We typically revisit the topic in a later chapter. So I think you have to go in a systematic fashion. You'll find two kinds of chapters in this book, concept chapters and project chapters. I guess concept chapters are more about what the topic is about, and then project chapters are things that allow you to take advantage of your learnings and to create a project maybe. In concept chapters, you'll learn more about an aspect of Rust. In project chapters, you will build small programs together applying what you've learned so far. So that's great. We build while we learn, which is I think it's the best way to learn based on the programming language that I've learned so far, Python, Java, and JavaScript. I think the best way to learn is while you're building, you learn and you build concurrently so that you understand what's happening behind the scenes. So I think if you just keep learning, it's all going to be in vain, in my opinion. You need to know how it's useful and so that you can kind of leverage every time you learn a new chapter. It kind of every chapter that you learn is like a foundation, and then you build on top of it. So you know how tall a building can be, right? If you don't know how good your foundation is, you don't know how tall a building you can build. So you need to know when you build. It's only when you build how you really test the foundation, right? So I think it's very important to build as we learn. So that's great. They're allowing us to do that. I'm going to take a short water break. Always drink up, guys. It's very important. I like to drink about half a gallon a day. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but on average, I think half a gallon is good. Um, okay, where were we? Right. Okay. Chapter 2, 12, and 20 are project chapters, and the rest are concept chapters. So there's three main project chapters, and I think there are about 17. How many chapters are there? I'm the kind of person who likes to, look at number of chapters even before beginning a book. I don't know if you guys are like that. Comment down below. I'm quite interested to see the proportion of the people who are like that. Okay, that's about 20 chapters. So I think 17 of them are concept chapters, and 3 of them are project chapters. It's just not too bad. So they go in depth in what each chapter does as a rough guide. Chapter 1 explains how to install Rust, how to write a hello world, which is ubiquitous in all the programming languages. I mean, if you have delved into each language, hello world is so classic. It's a classic example. How to use Cargo, the Rust package manager, and build tool. Chapter 2 is a hands-on introduction. That's, I think, is the first project chapter. Hands-on introduction to the Rust language. Here we cover concepts at a higher level, and the other chapters will provide additional detail. If you want to get your hands dirty right away, chapter 2 is the right place, is a place for that. At first, you might even want to skip chapter 3, which covers Rust features similar to those of other programming languages, and head straight to chapter 4 to learn about Rust ownership system. However, if you're a particularly meticulous learner who prefers to learn every detail before moving on to the next, you might want to skip chapter 2 and go straight to chapter 3. Written in chapter 2 when you would like to work on a project applying the details we have learned. I think we will go with the flow from chapter 1 onwards. And then chapter 5 discusses structs and methods. Chapter 6 covers enums, match, expressions, and if-let control flows construct. You will use structs and enums to make custom types in Rust. In chapter 7, you'll learn about Rust module system and about privacy rules for organizing code and its public application programming interface, which is API for short. Chapter 8 discusses some common collection data structures that standard library provides, such as vectors, strings, and hash maps. Chapter 9 explores Rust error handling philosophy and techniques. Chapter 10 digs into generic traits and lifetimes, which give the power to define code that applies to multiple types. Chapter 11 is all about testing, which even with the Rust safety guarantees is necessary to ensure your program's logic is correct. In chapter 12, we will build our own implementation of a subset of functionality from grep command line tool that searches for text within files. For this, we will use many of the concepts we discussed in the previous chapter. I think chapter 12 is the second one, right? Is the second concept, yeah, which is second project chapter, and then 20 is the last one. Chapter 13 explores closures, iterators. Chapter 14 examine cargo in depth, talk about the best practices, sharing the libraries with others. Chapter 15 smart pointers that the standard library provides and the traits that enable your functionality. Chapter 16 will walk through different models of concurrent programming and talk about how Rust helps you to program in multiple threads fearlessly. I think multiple threads is what allows Rust to be so quick. I think Python is a single programming language, if I'm not wrong. Don't quote me on that. I think so. Chapter 17 looks at how Rust idioms compare to object-oriented programming principles you might be familiar with. So object-oriented programming languages are like Java, for example. Chapter 18 is a reference on patterns and pattern matching, which are powerful ways of expressing ideas through Rust programs. Chapter 19, which is our last concept chapter, contains a smorgasbord of advanced topics of interest, including unsafe Rust, macros, and more about lifetimes, traits, types, functions, and closures. In chapter 20, we'll complete a project in which we'll implement a low-level multi-thread web server. Okay. Finally, some appendices contain useful information, like always, Rust keywords, Rust operators and symbols, derivable traits provided by the standard library. Covers useful development tools, and Appendix E explains Rust additions. There's no wrong way to read this book. Skip ahead, go for it. You might have to jump back to early chapters if you're experiencing confusion. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth in between chapters, in my opinion. But we'll go in the flow, and if we if you don't remember something, I would be more than happy to go back and see where I went wrong, or trying to strengthen my foundation in Rust. An important part of the process of learning Rust is learning how to read the error messages the compiler displays. These will guide you towards working code. As such, we'll provide many examples that don't compile along with the error messages the compiler will show you in each situation. So that's something that we have to know. Know that if you enter a random example, it may not compile. Make sure you read the surrounding text to see whether the example you're trying to run is meant to error. Ferris will also help you distinguish code that isn't meant to work. I think that's the mascot. Ferris is a mascot? I don't know. We'll find out. This code does not compile. This code panics. This code does not produce the desired behavior. So I think if we see Ferris is something's bad, I think, maybe. In most situations, we'll lead you to the correct version of any code that doesn't compile, and the source code can be found in GitHub. Great. Let's move on. Getting started. Let's go. It's us. Let's start your Rust journey. There's a lot to learn, but every journey starts somewhere. In this chapter, we will discuss, I think this is like the learning objectives of this chapter. So installing Rust on Linux, Mac OS, and Windows, writing a program that prints Hello World, and using Cargo, Rust package manager, and build system. Okay, I'm using Mac, so you guys can follow along if you're using Mac as well. The first step is to install Rust. We download Rust through Rust Up, a command line tool for managing Rust versions and associated tools. You need an internet connection for the download. If you prefer not to use Rust for some reason, please see the other Rust installation methods for this option. No, we can use that. So latest stable version of Rust compiler. Can ensure that all examples in this book compile continue to compile with new Rust versions. Output might slightly differ between versions, but because Rust often improves error messages and warnings, in other words, any new stable version of Rust you install using the steps should work as expected with the context of this book. I hope you guys can hear me well. I mean, it's been how long? It's been a while actually. It's like 20 minutes, I guess, since we started. I hope you guys can listen to me all right. I mean, this is the first one. If there's any problems, we can solve it next tomorrow, right? It's every day. We're going to do this every day, guys. So let's see. I think you guys can hear me all right. Seems like it. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Installing lines that you should enter in. Some command lines that don't show the output of the previous command initially PowerShell. Example, use this rather than the $sign. If you're using Linux or Mac OS, open a terminal and enter the following command. Let's do that. Let's open the terminal. Can you guys see my terminal? Okay, great. Maybe let's do it side by side so that you guys can see concurrently. So open a terminal and enter the following commands. I'm just going to copy this here and then paste it here. Enter. Oops, don't forget to remove the $sign. Okay, it's downloading. Welcome to Rust. Okay. Okay, it's about your father environment variable. It can install in time. Most triple. What do you have to do? To press yes. Oh, proceed with installation. We have to press 1, I think. I don't want to meddle with all these things. Could not amend shell profile. Permission denied. Shall we do? Shall we do? I'm gonna hit it again. Usually when this happens, I don't know, should we do sudo? So sudo kind of helps you bypass the admin. No, it doesn't work. This is so weird. See, this is the problems when you have while you're live programming, so that's exciting. Okay, let's look at it properly. This will go install offshore compiler, cargo. Hmm. Oops. I'm just trying things out. Could not manage your profile. I think it can't access my admin, but I'm in admin. That's weird. Should we try something else? It's so weird. Okay, guys, I'm gonna. What's a developer's best friend is, you know what, a Stack Overflow. Yep, that's a developer's best friend. If you know, you know, right? Um, yeah, it's 4 years and 3 months ago. Let's see if it's working. Permission denied. Hmm, let's try this. Hmm, it's working. Although I don't have any idea why it's working. How is this different from the first one that we? Hmm, I think it's a different version. This is 1.2. Man, I really have no idea why it worked. Let's see if it works though. Manually update the .bash profile to include it in your path. Okay, Rust is installed now, great. To get started, you need cargo's bin directory, home.cargo bin, in your path environment variable. This has not been done automatically. To configure your current shell, run Man, I'm really lost. Okay, this is normal. Hmm. Having some troubles here. Let's see. I'm in my applications. Then downloads. Oh, there's a lot. Okay, I'm just gonna Rust. Use it and find. Nope. Hmm. Man, I'm really lost here. Hmm. First, I need to find Okay, I'm going to spend 10 more minutes. If I can't find a solution, then I'm going to switch it off, and then I gotta be somewhere in 20, 30 minutes. So yeah, this is our first, roadblock. So don't worry, we will solve this. We just need to take a deep breath and think why I went wrong. I'm gonna copy it again and see, move it, move the $sign, see if it works. Not event shell profile. Let's try again. Go to customize installation. Yes. Oh, come on, man. Why is my permission denied? Let's see. I think everyone is having the same issue. I think we have some issues with the admin, but I'm admin, so I'm not so sure what's happening. Let's see. Okay, we have Rust installed. Okay. Let's try to update it. See this. Okay. So it's up to date. Okay, I think I'm gonna move on. I think we have it. Okay, I'm just gonna command line tools are already installed. Use software update to install updates. Okay, I think we have that. Okay. And then the local documentation, installation of Rust also includes a copy of the documentation locally, so you can read it offline, run Rust up doc, open the local documentation in your browser anytime a type of function is provided with the standard library. Not sure what it does or how to use it using the application programming interface documentation to find out. Okay, cool. Sorry about the delay. I mean, I think that's quite common these days. Sometimes the most simplest thing, the simplest things can kind of screw things up. Okay, so hello world. Now that you've installed Rust, let's write our first Rust program. I think it should be okay. But let's see. Now that you have installed Rust, let's write our first Rust program. It's traditional when learning a new language, like I mentioned, to write a little program that prints hello world. Classic example. So we'll do the same here. Note this book assumes basic familiarities with the command line. Rust makes no specific demands about editing. Okay. Instead of command line, feel free to use your favorite IDE. Many IDEs have now some degree of Rust support. We'll just stick with the classic terminal. Creating a project directory. So let's make a project directory. We'll start by making a directory to store your Rust code. I am let's go to our document. So CD is change directory. If you guys don't know, let's go to documents, and then ls is list. It's like a display. Let's just put it here. What do they say? So make mkdir is kind of to make a directory, and then cd is change directory. Let's go to projects. Let's go into projects. So cd is change directory. We're going into projects. So this word projects is where we are in right now, right? So if you press ls, there's going to be nothing because it's empty. It's an empty directory, all right? Okay. And then we're going to make another directory called hello world. And then we'll go into that hello world. Okay, so cd hello world. Okay. Writing and running a Rust program. Next, make a new resource file and call it main rs. Rust file always run with the .rs extension, just like your txt file or your jpg file, So Rust always ends with the rs extension. Okay. If you're using more than one word in your file name, use an underscore to separate them. For example, use hello world.rs rather than hello world. So each language have their own preferences, styling preferences. So in Rust, they're using this underscore method. In Java, it's more of I think it's camel case. I think in Java, it's camel case where the first letter is, it's not a capital letter, and the next letter is a capitalized letter. So hello world will be small hello, and then the W will be in a capital W. Yeah, that's in Java, if I'm not wrong. Now open the main RS file that you created. They just created in listing 1.1. What is 1.1? Oh, I think we gotta make a new. Let's go and where am I? Notes. No, I think documents. Nope. Give me a second. Let me sort this out. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to create a file called main.rs. Main.rs. Yes. And then oh, I think it's going to be a text file. I think main.rs is going to be a text file. So take a text editor. I'm just going to text edit, new document, and then save it as main.rs. So open that up. Projects, hello world. And save it. Main.rs. Hmm. Okay, cool. We changed it to main.rs. And then, so program that prints hello world. So this opened hello world. Save the file and go back to your terminal window on Linux. Okay, and then let's do this. I think Rust C is like Python, right? Rust C is going to be like the program. Let's see if it works. Oh man, got some issues. We have some bugs already. Let's see what's the issue here. Hmm. Let's open it up. See where we went wrong. Okay, this will be my last page, and then we will begin. We'll continue from tomorrow, the rest tomorrow, bit by bit. Ah, see, these things are extra stuff. Why are they here? Just gonna copy this, paste it, save it. I think this is a Rust M logo. Looks cool. I'm gonna save it, and then I'm gonna run it again. Hope it works this time. Something's happening. Okay, something happened. Hey, hey, hello world. I've done coding multiple times, multiple languages. Whenever you do hello world, it's just so inspiring. It's like, yes, I got it. Like, yes. So there's a long way to go in Rust programming, and I think this is a good way. This is a good place to stop for now. Yes, there were some hiccups, at the start, where we couldn't, I think get Rust downloaded properly. So I had to do some Stack Overflow. Um, so that's all okay. I think that's fine. That's quite common in development. There's some hiccups, but we always need to step aside, see what are the solutions for that problem, and then hit directly at the problem. So don't get flustered. It's easy to get flustered. I've done coding for some time now, and I know how painful it is. It's gonna be. but stick at it, and you'll get through it. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you guys join me in this journey. Uh, all the way from now till the end of my winter break. It's going to be exciting times for us. We're going to learn Rust together. So thank you so much once again, and I hope to see you tomorrow on another live stream. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Bye. Oh, we did 15 minutes today. That's cool.